ahead and get started this morning. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance, if everybody would stand, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the August 3rd, 2015 Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners meeting. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair of the commission, also representing District 2. Joining me today is Commissioner Shelley Bueller, representing District 1, and Commissioner Bob Archer, representing District 3.
Good morning.
Madam Clerk, there is an item to add to the agenda at the request of Public Works. This would be listed as item E1, and it is a request to transport asphalt along Southeast 45th Street. And I'm making a motion, all right, I guess I'm just directing that to be added. Directing it to be added.
There's no objection.
Okay. All right, so that will be added as E1. We can start with our first item.
First item is proclamation, presentation regarding the National Night Out event. Christy Pancrantz, Safe Streets.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am Christy Pancrantz, Director of Safe Streets, and this is Jeff Imparato. He is the volunteer chair of National Night Out for the 5th year in a row here. So it's a pleasure to have him, and we also have Sheriff Jones in the back. Hi, Sheriff.
Come on.
Come on, Sheriff. We just wanted to give you a quick update regarding National Night Out. That is this Saturday, and encourage you all to participate in the activities of your neighborhood or of your district. Jeff, would you mind passing these shirts out to them? We are poised to have the most successful National Night Out ever. We have almost 80 neighborhoods who are participating this year, which has nearly doubled over the last 3 years, which is incredible to see. And we're just so thankful for the sheriff's support as well as the district attorney's support. Without them, this would not be what it is. So we just wanted to give our kudos to them and to you all, as well as your other departments. Parks and Rec, Emergency Management have been great partners in working with the neighborhoods. So we just thank you for that very much.
Christy, could you tell us a little bit about, how has this grown over the last 5 years?
Well, when I started at Safe Streets, we had, actually the year before I started, we had 42 neighborhoods participating. We are now at 80, so we've essentially doubled. The support from the community has just grown. Our planning meetings have 100 folks coming to them. And it's just incredible to see the amount of enthusiasm behind these events. People are really wanting to get to know their neighbor, and that's where we hope we can help them with that. And we hope they'll continue this momentum throughout the year is our goal.
Other questions or comments?
Great work, thank you.
Great work, thank you.
One thing, we also have a kickoff party at WIBW radio station on Friday beginning at 5:30. Your lovely sheriff has agreed to be in a dunk tank. I saw that glare, Sheriff. So I'd encourage you to come out and check that out.
Commissioner Archer?
Well, that's the first time I've ever heard the sheriff referred to as lovely.
Yes.
And where's the location at
WIBW radio.
And where is that?
That's off of Huntoon Hill in Wanamaker.
Okay,
Executive Drive.
all right, that's where Bartlett West is in that area?
Yes, in that
Okay.
parking lot.
Very good, thank you.
What time does that kick off?
5:30.
5:30, so I suppose Commissioner Archer will be there by 4:30, get in line, first in line to throw the dunk tank.
Well, yeah, you're welcome to join the sheriff if you'd
Although
like.
I may, we'll see.
If you want to.
I figured I'd,
Go ahead.
Herman Jones, Sheriff, I figured I'd let you come up, take pot shots at me.
Yeah.
No, really, what this stems from, it was a challenge for Safe Streets and in National Night Out. And each year we've grown, and I said last year, if we reached a goal of 70 neighborhoods,
Wow.
I would probably take the dunk tank, and we're up to 80. So that shows what we're doing right there. So maybe I need to move it up a little bit more right there. So,
Next year.
but at the same time, words. I said 70. I didn't say 80.
Yeah.
So, but we really look forward to it, and it's a great involvement with the neighborhoods and those type of things. So.
Sheriff, thank you for your involvement in this as well in support of this program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna have to go, because we have a semi-truck with 14,950 bottles of water to distribute. That's what I'm doing today, so appreciate your participation.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Bueller.
Just, you know, I know you mentioned all the law enforcement that's involved, but this really is the citizen participation
Oh,
in all the
absolutely.
neighborhoods throughout the
11,000
community.
plus.
And with the recent crime in our community, I mean, it just stresses the importance of getting to know your neighbors and taking care of your community. So, again, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks.
Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 2, unfinished business. Number 1, acknowledge receipt and consider approval of the 2016 Extension Council budget.
This is an item by statute we need to have just acknowledged. I do see a representative of the Extension Board at the back, so I would just acknowledge, or make a motion to acknowledge receipt of the 2016 budget for the Extension Council. This would enable us to have 10 days to either accept it or reject it, which should be in line with our further discussion of the budget. So, motion to acknowledge receipt.
Second.
Commissioner
Will
Bueller.
we be hearing any public comment today for those who have?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Are there individuals from the public that wish to have public comment on the Extension Council budget? All right,
Just want to make sure.
absolutely. So, and also just a note on this evening at 5:30, there is public comment on the budget overall. And we would have that as to whether or not the mill levy should increase, decrease, remain the same, or if a department should increase, decrease, or remain the same. It does not have a limitation as to the subject matter. If it contains to the budget for 2016, anybody is allowed to have public comment on it this evening at 5:30, as they would after every meeting. And then we would start our budget discussions on the 6th, which is Thursday. There's been a motion by Commissioner Cook to acknowledge receipt of the 2016 Extension Council budget, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Are there any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Archer to approve the consent agenda, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
The vouchers are totaling $1,915,011.92. JADO has the largest portion with $590,981.91. Pooled cash and payroll is $546,846.85. And then health insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, $212,099.08. And I have no questions, I will move approval.
There's a motion made by Commissioner Bueller for approval of the vouchers,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll make a motion to approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Next item.
Item B, Planning Department, number 1, public hearing and consider order of vacation of 10 feet of a platted 40-foot building setback line of Lot 7, Block D, Bryan's Addition, along Southwest 43rd Terrace in Mission Township to accommodate construction of a single-family dwelling.
Morning, Commissioners. Barry Beagle, Shawnee County Planning Department. As indicated, this is a request by David and Linda Carino seeking to vacate 10 feet of a 40-foot wide platted building setback line along Southwest 43rd Street with respect to their property in Bryan's Addition. Given the size of the property and the construction of the home will require the installation of an ET bed in lieu of a traditional septic tank and lateral field system. In order to meet the setback requirements associated with the ET bed, they're requesting to reduce the setback, the platted building setback along 43rd Terrace from 40 feet to 30 feet. I will note that the 30-foot setback that would be achieved as a result of the vacation complies with the 30-foot front yard setback otherwise of the RR1 Residential Reserve District as it is currently zoned. The City of Topeka was notified since this lies within their 3-mile boundary. They expressed no opposition to the proposal, provided that neighbors immediately surrounding the Carinos lot were notified, which they have been, and given the opportunity to submit their comments to the commission. One final thing I will note is that I just discovered it this morning. It's a minor correction to the resolution on the first page. At the bottom, item number 1, it says that the petition requesting the vacation of the above described platted building access, and access should be setback, and we will make that correction, beyond this meeting. So, but that concludes my comments and description of this request before the commission.
Questions for Mr. Beagle regarding this item? At this time, is there any public comment on this item?
Yes, my name is Frank.
If you could please come up to the podium and then state your name for the clerk so that we can have that recorded.
Yes, my name is Frank Natchez, Natchezz. I'm a resident on the block in question in Ryan's Addition. I am one house away from the subject property and am directly impacted by this particular procedure and request for a vacation. I am also not representing, but here as a neighbor, and the entire neighborhood here, the other 6 neighbors from the Bryans, 5 neighbors from the Bryans Addition are here present. We're all opposing this particular application, and with good reason, which I will try to state as succinctly as possible for your consideration. Number 1, I'm not as prepared as I could be because I've only found out about this request for vacation within the past 12 hours. I've never had any information regarding this matter before, nor some of my neighbors. Only a few selected people across the street have been given notification of this, and they have brought this to my attention, I said, within the past 12 hours. Number 1, I have never had any contact previously with Barry Beagle. I wish that I had, so we could clarify some issues. Number 1, the particular setback or vacation of setback, to reduce it to 30 feet, to me has no correlation or common sense. What is the standard setback in the area? There are 6 houses already on the block, and they're all set back 60 feet. There's no exception to that. And by the photograph which has been presented to me, I don't know if the board has a photograph of the particular area in question, but you can see from this photograph that all the setback lines are exactly the same.
We have a copy of that as well.
And you'll see that they're all exactly the same. I measured them last night with the neighbors. They're all 60 feet. So I understand that 30 feet may be within certain R1 particular limitations, but it certainly disrupts significantly the entire lineup of houses in the entire neighborhood. It's a more than 50% change to the normal 60-foot setback, this being only 30 foot. So for that reason alone, that's not characteristic of the nature of the neighborhood or of its characteristics that it presents openly, nor the property values there. For that reason alone, that application should not be accepted, it should be rejected. However, there's a further reason here, and I wish I had contacted Mr. Beagle presently so I could have ascertained this. But the real reason for the application here, as I think he did state, is that the ET provision is being requested, and I'm not sure I totally understand what an ET is, but what's happening is, because of prior percolation tests in history in that neighborhood, he apparently cannot implement a normal lateral field and septic tank system. I understand that. Now, what the ET will do, I'm not sure, and I don't know if any indication has been presented to you or the other planning commission to show that this ET will solve the problem. Now, you probably do not have in your packet the history of what's happened in this particular neighborhood starting 30 years ago. And I can briefly present to you exhibits which I've labeled A, B, and C, which demonstrates that difficulty. The first is from the Shawnee County Health Department. It's dated in January of '81 and indicates that the area impacted has absorption qualities of the soil are very poor. And in a follow-up, the soil percolation at 6010 Southwest 33rd is very poor. In addition, the soil absorption characteristics at 6030, which are properties directly adjacent or across the street from them, indicate that they're also poor with surface levels of sewage at the backyards area from the fields that were already in existence. Brian's addition, this is a quote, was originally plotted on the building permits issued for 18 one-half-acre lots. 6 of them were built. All 6 people are present here today. 14 at such time were abandoned, and the applications for construction were abandoned at that time due to the difficulty. Further, a follow-up was made apparently with the evaluation department of the county to determine whether or not an amendment or a lowering of the property taxes would be appropriate in that area, and it was granted. Quote, "It is unfair to tax this property at market value when a disclosure is required to avoid litigation regarding septic/lateral field failure. In order to sell this property, its value would have to be discounted. This makes the 95 proposed valuation inappropriate." So you've had continuing problems for 30 years. Building permits were previously abandoned, 14 in number, until a sanitary septic system was installed. That has not been done. So at the very minimum, if you are to proceed ahead with the building of this particular property, you're going to, number one, significantly impact the valuation of the houses in that neighborhood. You're going to lower the property value, and you're going to wind up with basically, and I'm going to be characteristic here, of a sore thumb property sticking out next to the sidewalk, which doesn't fit the nature and character of the neighborhood. And in some substance, you're also going to impact the entire neighborhood, because there's another document put by the Topeka Planning Commission, I'm going to mark D, of the surrounding city properties that flow around this area, which are not shown in this picture. This looks like a very bucolic setting. I'm going to indicate this to you on this map, which is prepared by the Topeka Planning Commissioner, and I'm highlighting in yellow how small this area is and how it will impact so many other properties. If I may present these exhibits to you, I apologize for the condition. This is all I had the time to do within the past 10 hours. They're A, B, and C, which amounts to county correspondence, as well as D, which shows the impact on the surrounding areas. So we have issues here, not only of economics, we are really defeating the purpose of revenue collection. We are also involved with a public health difficulty. If that septic system is not up to sufficient levels to adequately take care of the effluent that will flow downhill from there. One final geographical note. These properties are all on a hill. I don't know the grading of the hill. All I can tell you, it is significant. I have to huff and puff when I hike up there. And secondly, water and sewage effluent flows downhill. And it flows through another backyard into my backyard. And we are all significantly aware of this difficulty. There are numerous reasons why this application should not be accepted. And that is probably the most significant, being the health hazard. Most also importantly, is the value of the properties diminishing, which is going to affect the county coffers, and eventually get us into an annexation issue with the city, so the sanitary sewers can be implemented. It's a can of worms that does not be deserved to be open at this particular time. As I indicated, 100% of the property owners in Ryan's Addition are present. We are all unequivocally opposed to this application being accepted because it grossly is inappropriate for this neighborhood. I'll be glad to answer any questions or refer you to the individual homeowners who I said are 100% in attendance here today and represented if you have any questions for us. I would also suggest if you not have the opportunity to see a neighborhood, if you went there, you could see how inappropriate and inadequate this particular property would be in this neighborhood, designed the way it is at this time. Any questions, gentlemen, or lady?
Commissioners, questions for Mr. Natchez?
Well, I have questions for Mr. Beagle, obviously.
Okay. Commissioner Bueller?
Thank you for the
Okay.
information.
Thank you.
Okay, we're all present here if you have any,
Okay.
at any time. Thank you.
Barry, some questions regarding issues raised by residents.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Archer?
What was the notification process that you went through to let everybody know what was
Pursuant to
going
state statute, all we have to do is publish notice in the official county newspaper. We chose to go ahead and respond to, and send individual notices to the 4 immediate impacted properties immediately surrounding the applicant's property.
And when was that sent out?
That was sent out on July 14th.
And what feedback did you get after the notifications were sent?
I received one phone call from the neighbor immediately to the east of the Carino's property, expressing concern about the setback relative to the remainder of the homes within the block.
And how does, if this setback is approved, how does it impact the character of the neighborhood and the quality of the neighborhood?
Well, you know, as indicated, this is not a flat sheet of paper of the neighborhood. There is some character and relief to the neighborhood. Plus, there is the curve on 43rd Terrace as you continue to the west. I don't know if I can adequately, you know, describe what a 10-foot difference would mean to the character. All I can indicate is that what Mr. Carino has indicated to us, what he would like to build would be of a comparable size home to the homes that already exist within the neighborhood. Just by, and forgive me for digressing here just for a second, just by a little bit of background. The environmental code within Shawnee County has changed since Bryant's addition was first plat and approved. The lot sizes and the perk test results that exist within the neighborhood would not allow for the homes to be built that are there now based on a conventional septic tank lateral field system. So ET refers to an evapotranspiration bed. It's a specially designed system that comprises a smaller area than what a traditional septic tank and lateral field would be. But because of the function that it has to perform, there is a 25-foot setback that has to be observed around all 4 sides of the ET bed. And that is what is compressing an already small lot and requiring adjustments to be made either in the size of the home or in the setback in order to be able to accommodate the construction of the home on the property. But with regard to the relative impact of a 10-foot difference, that much, I don't know that I can adequately address what a 10-foot difference in setback might be relative to the balance of the neighborhood. Normally what we do try is to achieve some sense of uniformity in setbacks, you know, from one property to the next. So there will be a change in that, but whether it is considered to be a wholesale detrimental change to the character of the neighborhood, that much I cannot address.
Any questions? Mr. Natchez, please. Commissioner Archer?
No, I was gonna make a motion for deferral, but go ahead if there are other questions.
Well, Commissioner Bueller, do you have?
And Barry, the reason this does not go through the planning commission, can you explain that reason?
There are really 2 options that we can follow. One is to first float it through the planning commission or take it directly to the county commission. What I try to do is to make the process as efficient as possible and to bring it directly to the county commission and bring it to more of an immediate resolution as opposed to extending it out over, you know, a couple of months in order to bring this to a conclusion. I do know that the Carinos are here if they wish to offer any particular comments themselves.
Commissioner Archer, you had a motion that you were.
Yeah, I'd like to defer. I'd like to review this documentation and drive in the neighborhood again. I've been there, but I'd like to drive the neighborhood again, review the documentation, talk to people that are showing up this morning. And so I'd make a motion to defer consideration of this issue for 2 weeks.
That would be to the 17th of August?
Yes.
Please.
Can you
come-
stand, please?
You come to the podium and identify yourself, please.
My name is Dwight Norman. I live 6010 Southwest 43rd Terrace. What my comment is, this is a 2-bedroom house that he is proposing to build. All of our houses there are 4 to 5 bedroom houses. They're a large house. If this is approved, I own another half acre right off Wanamaker. If this is approved, would I be rejected to have the same possibilities of building something there? I bought that lot for the simple reason that Mr. Fulmer went bankrupt and the land went back to Vision Bank. Vision Bank offered these lots at $5,000 to us. I bought one. Gary, our next door neighbor across the street, and Julie bought another acre right next to it. And because it went bankrupt, we have been mowing these lots for years, as you well know. So what I am saying, if this is done here, what resents all the rest of us who have half-acre lots that we have bought and we mowed and we gardened from having a change and saying what we want to build in there? So we've been living under these restrictions now for 33 years. And why now is it going to be changed? That I don't understand.
Mr. Archer?
Do you have a neighborhood association that has bylaws and restrictions?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I can't,
This is a very close neighborhood. We have, every year, we have a bonfire picnic in one of the half-acre lots, and all the neighbors come, and we bring different food, so it's a very united neighborhood. I enjoy it immensely.
like in our neighborhood, you've got restrictions like you have to have a double car garage or so many square feet. Do you have things like that?
This is
I mean, you
what-
mentioned a 2-bedroom home going under the property that.
Yes, and that the rest of them, all the other houses are 4 and 5 bedroom properties.
Right.
My house is 100 feet long on there, and it is a 4-bedroom house. That's across the street. This one here, our houses usually have brick on the front. This house is just a plain house that we can put in our neighborhood, which does not fit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to question me?
Actually, I have a question, a follow-up question for Mr. Beagle, but
Thank you.
And Barry, my question is gonna be, are there covenants associated with this neighborhood then? Is there a covenant? I didn't see anything mentioned.
If there is, I am not aware of it. We do not enforce private declarations of restrictions.
I have a
So-
copy of it, sir.
Okay,
Well, that very well may be, but the county is not the responsible agency for administering
okay.
private covenants.
But you didn't have any of that information when, okay, okay.
And again, even if we did,
Yeah, I understand. I also, I think too, is the, what is the, ET bed or what
Yeah.
is the? I mean, I know that the health agency had some information on here, but is that relatively new? Or,
Well,
I don't remember seeing
you know,
that all that often.
obviously, it could be explained better by a member of the,
Health
you know,
agency,
of the health
okay.
agency.
That would be helpful.
Basically, all I can indicate to you, it's a type of engineered system where you have either a small parcel and tight soils. It is an alternative system to a conventional septic tank and lateral field. So that way, you can still make a lot function.
Sure.
You know, of course, it all depends on the number of bedrooms and the size of the facility and the type of use. You know, that determines the amount of effluent which is expected. But in this particular case, the health agency, in looking at it, said, okay, this size ET bed is what is gonna be needed in order to support a home being built on this property.
I think all that's helpful, but again, more information, just so we're knowledgeable about it and how it may
Sure.
impact the rest of the neighborhood would be
I'll be more than happy
beneficial.
to get that information for you.
Okay.
May I make one more comment, please?
Sure, please come. Come.
Thank you. In our backyard, we have a swimming pool. What happens on this ground, 8 foot down, is a shell bed. Gary and Julie have problems with water because water flows on this shell bed, and if you go through that shell bed, then you've got problems because water is getting into your basement. So this is what I am concerned about on this pit. If this water goes down, the ground will not absorb it, and if it falls onto this shell bed, it's going to spread. And that's where it goes, into whose basement is concerned. And the other item that I have is they contacted us that Mrs. Pettit owns the ground right directly behind it, all the way up to Mr. Woody's property. And that is building lots, and that is in the city. They could get sewers. We could not get sewers because the way the sewers lines were put in is opposite. Ours is in the backyard. Then you've got another building lot, and then the sewers run in front of their house. Only way we can get sewers is go across private property. And if we got trouble with the line of the sewer, they're not going to be very happy with us digging up their front yard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a request.
We have the gentleman coming up here, and then, yes.
My name is David Corino. I'm the one that's applying for this here vacation of 10 foot. I think to solve the problem, I can just end this application now, and I can just build a smaller house. Actually, with the Shawnee County Code, I can put a double wide on there. And as far as we know, the ET bed is an engineered system. It's been in place for a long time. Right now at this point in time, I'm going to end this, and we're going to put a smaller house on there that I do not have to go before the Shawnee County Commissioners to ask for any permission, and that's where we're going to end it right there. And I apologize for your time and everybody else's. Thank you.
Are you withdrawing the application, sir?
Yes. You got that?
Mr. Beagle? If the applicant has publicly stated that he is withdrawing his application, is there any further action for the commission to take today?
I wouldn't believe so.
All right. Is there any other comment or question from any other
Need
commissioner?
confirmation by the parliamentarian, I think, on that.
Counselor, is there any?
It's perfectly fine to withdraw from the table.
So noted that the application has been withdrawn. No action taken. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item C, Health Agency. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C 293-2015 with Voices for Children Foundation, Inc. for the Fetal Infant Mortality Review Program for a total grant amount of $173,052.50 for a revised term of January 1, 2013 through December 31st, 2018.
Morning, Commissioners. Allison Alejos, Health Agency. The request before you is for an extension of our Fetal Infant Mortality Review Program grant. The funders, United Methodist Health Ministry Fund and Kansas Health Foundation, have agreed to fund the projects in Kansas for an additional year. So we have some additional dollars that we're able to access if you all approve this request. This is something that we've been working on starting back in 2013. We have had very difficult time trying to get somebody in the positions that we had for a fetal infant mortality review coordinator. So we didn't get the full funding for the first 2 years as we had hoped, but we've adjusted the grant amount to reflect that and are able to actually have those dollars last us longer than previously anticipated. You can see as the years go by, the funding decreases in increments of 25% till we get to a point where we're sustaining our efforts on our own, and we are in the process as we move this project forward to talk to partners and to try to determine other ways to fund this when the funding is gone. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions regarding this request for grant application? I'll make a motion to approve the grant application.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. All opposed. It passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next item.
Item C2, consider authorization and execution of contract C294-2015, amending contract C78-2015 with the National Association of County and City Health Officials to amend the funding source due to the division of the Civil Volunteer Medical Reserve Corps transition from the Office of the Surgeon General to the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response.
Morning, Commissioners. Jennifer Zeller, Shawnee County Health Agency. The item before you is just to amend this contract that was submitted on March 2nd. It was approved by the Board of County Commissioners, and that was a contract with NACHO and our local unit for a capacity building award for our Medical Reserve Corps program. And from the federal level, the Division of Civilian Voluntary Medical Reserve Corps has changed structurally due to some reauthorizations of the Pandemic and All Hazards Act at the federal level. So that has moved from the Office of the Surgeon General to ASPR, the Assistant Secretary of Preparedness and Response. And this is just a correction to that contract, to the original contract, showing that the funding has changed.
Questions regarding the request for the amendment to the contract?
Move approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Bueller for approval to the amendment to the contract. I will second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you very much. Next item.
Item D, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C295-2015, amending contract C106-2015 with the Topeka Swim Association to extend the use of Bladesdale Family Aquatic Center for swim team practice to August 13th, 2015, at no additional cost.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. Extending the contract effectively is 4 days. We're going to already have the pool full because Blaisdell's the pool that is going to be lengthened as long as we can this season. They came to us with the request, and there's really no issue with us. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Questions for John regarding this item?
Motion to approve the contract.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer.
I'll second. I do have a question though, John. You said Blaisdell's the only pool that's extended till the middle of August, but all the other pools? North, okay. So, but most of the other pools then close on the 9th, correct?
Correct.
So North and Blaisdell will be open until?
The 15th.
Yeah, I just thought we might want to make sure we clarify this so people know.
Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. Shawnee North Family Aquatic Center will be open on weekends through Labor Day.
Okay.
All the rest of them will be closing. The reason we are keeping water in Blaisdell is because we have a special event on Saturday.
Okay.
We originally were going to drain it the next, I think the 10th, but we're not draining it now to the 13th, so we're allowing them to use this 4 extra days than what the contract stated.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? No. So motion made by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Next item.
Item D2, consider approval of request for out-of-state travel to attend the National Recreation and Park Association Annual Conference and Exposition and the National Association of County Parks and Recreation Officials Board of Directors meeting September 15th through the 17th at a cost to the county of less than $400.
Morning, Commissioners. John Knight again, Parks and Recreation. The Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Foundation will pay the travel expenses for this employee to go. The employee is paying half of the registration process, and the Shawnee County General Fund, I'm requesting that they pay the other half, and the typical meal allowance that goes with out-of-state travel. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Questions regarding this item? I'll make a motion to approve the out-of-state travel.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Next item.
Item D3, consider approval of request to submit a Kansas Department of Transportation use of right-of-way highway permit to allow Shawnee County Parks and Recreation staff to work in the KDOT right-of-way along I-70 to prepare the area for construction of the sound wall in Old Prairie Town at the historic Ward Mead site.
Commissioners, this is a request to allow our employees to go in and work in certain areas to help install the sound wall at Old Prairie Town. We believe that our employees can do it cheaper and less expensively than a contractor, and that's what this request is. It'll keep the contract price down for the project.
I'll make, any questions regarding this? I'll make a motion to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item.
Added item E for Public Works. Information on it.
Commissioners, Tom Blunt with Public Works and Solid Waste has mentioned this is a Public Works item. I appreciate you allowing me to add this. I'd forgotten to put this on last week. What it is, as you recall, we are doing a mill and overlay project on Southeast 45th Street between Tecumseh Road and McMahon. And back in 2009, Bettis Asphalt, which has a subsidiary called Mid-States Quarry, has a quarry on Southeast 45th Street at the Douglas County, Shawnee County line. Bettis wanted to add asphalt facilities at that location, and there was some concern from some of the residents out there about having some added heavy traffic coming from that plant down 45th Street. So at that time, the commission agreed, and Bettis agreed that any asphalt hauling would have to come out of the north side of the plant on the US Highway 40 and around to wherever they were going, unless they got specific approval from the commission to do otherwise, including our own projects. That is what this request is for. We are doing the overlay work on Southeast 45th Street. So the only way to get asphalt there is to travel on Southeast 45th Street, either coming from the east or going around a much longer way and then coming in on Southeast 45th from the west. So this request is just essentially to allow us, our own crews, to haul the asphalt from the plant directly to this location, which will cut down on several miles of hauling each time we haul the load, and keep the heavy loads off of less county roadways than we would if we can go directly to the site. There's no cost associated with this. This is just trying to stay in accordance with the provisions set forth in Resolution 2009-30 to get approval from the commission before doing so. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. And this project should be completed by the end of the week, so less, a week or less of time.
Questions regarding the item or the request? I'll make a motion to approve the request to allow asphalt to be hauled or transported along Southeast 45th Street for this county project.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Are there any administrative communications this morning?
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Department of Corrections. They're here. The auditors are here. They showed up. I met with them last night for a couple hours for the American Correctional Association audit for the Shawnee County Department of Corrections Juvenile Detention Center. They will be with us over the next 2.5 days. I hope for the sake of my wedding or my marriage, because it's my 24th anniversary is on Wednesday, so I hope it's a good outcome. But this is a very important time and an historical time for Shawnee County and the Department of Corrections. Less than 10% of the juvenile detention centers or a lot of the facilities in the United States are accredited. This is something that was never made. A lot of times when jails are in trouble, that courts mandate ACA accreditations, but this is something we started a long time ago. That when you ask 3 accreditors or auditors to come into your facility to poke around and things like that, we are nervous, we're anxious, we are confident that there's some things that we're doing right, but we want to know also how we can better our operation. This is a very good time for Shawnee County and the detention center. They will be here. I wanted to make sure that people and the public knew that this audit will let us know how we compare against the national standards of the best practices for corrections. There are tremendous benefits to being accredited. It's just not for those of having a plaque on the wall or newspaper articles. It's the staff who do the job. It's not me. I have the vision, and we all have the vision. Staff are buying off on the vision of wanting us to be able to do the best job we can, and I believe this community and the staff and those that we serve, they deserve it. So I wanted to make sure that you all knew that.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Hello again, Commissioners. Jennifer Zeller, Shawnee County Health Agency. Since we had an item earlier that related to the Shawnee County Medical Reserve Corps, I just wanted to mention that if you or any of our public wanted to learn more about the Shawnee County Medical Reserve Corps program, that there'll be a great opportunity this Saturday, August 8th, from 10 to 2 at the Topeka Shawnee County Public Library. There will be a volunteer fair, and it's put on by a group known as the Managers of Volunteer Engagement, which is a group here in town made up of about 40 volunteer agencies that get together once a month and discuss issues around volunteer engagement. And there'll be about 30 agencies participating on Saturday at this fair, including the Shawnee County Medical Reserve Corps, agencies such as the Red Cross, Midland Care, Habitat for Humanity. So it's a really great opportunity if people in the community are looking for places to volunteer and want to learn more about those agencies in our community.
Thank you.
Commissioners, Tom Vlogging with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is regards, the media has been really good at helping us get this notice out in the papers and in radio and TV, but we are embarking on a culvert replacement project right now on Urish Road between Huntoon and 17th with our own forces. That should take a week or less to complete. We had signage up notifying the people. That was beginning today. I've seen it listed in the media several times. But again, between Huntoon and 17th, a small culvert replacement project should take 3 to 5 days if everything goes right. But I just want everybody to know that is going on beginning today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Bueller, do you have anything for us?
No, a busy weekend and a much busier week. There's a lot going on, and I see our Register of Deeds out there. She was brave enough to get out at the fair and participate in the celebrity swine, whatever you do. How'd you do?
I didn't do very well, but we have a winner.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Oh, that's been big
I missed
news.
that. Oh, big news. Sorry, I missed that headline. Congratulations and thanks for doing that.
Thank you. Commissioner Archer?
Yeah, I wanted to say congratulations to Larry Ma. It's a tribute that was well-deserved and well-earned. But we went to I think the 3 commissioners went to the pancake feed as part of the fair, and that was a great event. And the fair is just a great event for Shawnee County. It truly is. The other thing is I also wanted to encourage people to come tonight at 5:30 for the budget hearing. It's going to be here. And it's been my experience that the more community input governing body has on an issue, the much better decisions that are made. So I wanted to mention that. Also, I wanted to mention that on the front page of the Capitol Journal this morning, there was an article about the Abbott Community Center. And it was a great update. It was written by a reporter by the name of Adam Vlock. And it was well done, and it's always good when we have positive stories on the front page of our newspaper instead of all the negative things that happen in our community. So I compliment the Capitol Journal for highlighting something that's positive, and I hope they'll continue to do that. That's all I had, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. It's also good to see that the Abbott Center went from being empty, closed, to now very vital, very important in the community. 85 youth use the facility now. They're looking at even expanding the operations of the Abbott Community Center. Engagement from HTK, Capital Federal, Security Benefit, Advisors Excel, and the list goes on and on, just highlighting a few. including, I believe, our district attorney and sheriff's office also came out to help get things kicked off and get things started. So it's good to see that much engagement in the community and really focusing in on the teens and the youth of our community. So, as Commissioner Archer has said, for the budget hearing, it is tonight. It is at 5:30. And I would anticipate that anyone who has an issue, bring it to the commission for us to have consideration. Then on August the 6th, we will start the budget discussion. We must have the budget finalized before the 25th. So I would engage anyone who has thoughts to contact your commissioner to let them know what you might think or thoughts you might have on how we can improve over the 2016 year. Next item.
Item 6, executive session.
There is a need for an executive session regarding non-elected personnel and consultation with an attorney for the body or agency which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship for a period not to exceed 20 minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. We are adjourned into executive session.
Shall we hear the headlines for the story about the law?
too early then?
Nah, you're pretty good. Just go right ahead. We'll just.
We are back from executive session. No action taken. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Can I have a copy of those papers that Mr. Natchez handed out?
Yeah, I just put them in the